Hello, everybody, and welcome to this educational session today on how to stay active in your pregnancy. So I want to let you swipe in and say hello to me so I know who is with me here today. I'm just going to open up the comments so I can see who is with us. But yeah, I'm very excited about this session. I feel it's so important to know that you don't have to leave the exercise. You can still start. It's never too late. So very, very exciting. So I'm going to let you swipe in and say hello, just so I can see who is with us today. I also have a little bit of sort of nice little infographics to help you so we can work through it together. But yeah, very excited to welcome you all here. If I've got any preggy mommies with me today, let me know. Would love to see who's with me. But otherwise, you can just swipe in and say hello. I'm going to give us a few more minutes, or seconds, not too many minutes, just so that everyone can roll in. I can see Amalia is with us. Welcome. Karen is with us. Welcome, Karen. Nicole is here. So I can see some of the comments coming through. Lauren is also with us here today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so let's just see who's all with us. Pat is here. Hi, Pat. Welcome, welcome. Nicole is a preggy mama. Welcome. Well, I hope that you find the session quite valuable. So yeah, I mean, pregnancy is through all our different trimesters, so I will guide you a little bit with that. But yeah, very excited about the session. All right, so I'm going to pull the slide up at the moment. I see Claire is with us. There we go. All right, team. So this is just starting. How can I stay active during my pregnancy? So the main thing that I really wanted to communicate across that, yeah, it's the good news is that you don't have to give it up. And it's also not too late to get your body moving. I'm just going to move us over here. So when I refer to what do the guidelines recommend, I'm talking about what do we say is sort of the best practice. Everybody's pregnancy journey is different. So when I refer in this educational session today, I'm referring to when you don't have, or if you have a non-eventful pregnancy. So this means that there are no complications or no concerns from your doctor, because there are other things to take into account as well. So if we look at our recommendations, about 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week is recommended. So that can be broken up into 5 days with 2 rest days as an example, but that is more or less what we are aiming for. Very important is that we're not focusing just on one component of training. So for example, not just cardio or not just weight training, a good mix, a good amount of cross training. So including, let's say, 2 cardio sessions in your week and then 3 weight training or light resistance training, just to really support you and get you nice and strong. The various reasons why we need to do this. So in terms of our benefits on what we want to do, so this is to prevent any excessive weight gain. It also helps with preventing gestational diabetes, limiting the risk for lower back pain or pelvic pain, which is very, very common in our preggy mamas from trimester 1 all the way through to trimester 3. And then also very important, this boosts your sleep. This boosts your mood. It really, really helps you feel good and just overall sending those happy hormones for you. So the next thing I want to look at is, where do I start? So before commencing any training program, I'd like you to first have clearance from your gynae or your doctor, just to make sure that there are no concerns before just jumping in. When we talk about starting, our best friends is low impact activities. So we hear this all the time, how good walking is for us. And that is something I really, really can't stress enough. Just overall mobility in the day and not just sitting. It really, really makes such a difference. So I've recommended 30 minutes a day. But if you are able to do 30 minutes in the morning or 30 minutes in the afternoon, about an hour, it's very important for you to see that it is possible. So see what you can manage. Depends how you're feeling, but walking should be at the top of your list just to really, really get your body moving. Then, of course, stationary bike, spinning bike, very safe. It is not risky as if you're going outside. So yeah, very important. If you can get to a gym or you have a stationary bike at home, 30 minutes. So that's sort of our standard time or recommended time. And then, of course, swimming, if you've got access to a nice warm pool, especially if it is winter. And then very important, so we often hear that Pilates and yoga is so beneficial, but if you are pregnant, I wouldn't just throw you into any Pilates class or any yoga class. The reason why I say that, there are certain activities that should not be done if you're pregnant. So, for example, especially when you reach about 16 weeks in your pregnancy, 16 weeks and above, activities lying in your back, we want to limit that. So I don't want you to be lying for extended periods. The reason why I say that is because now you've got your growing baby. You can experience symptoms of dizziness, especially with the baby putting any pressure on your veins. So very important activities are either in standing, on your hands and knees, on your sides, as long as it's not on your back for prolonged periods of time. And then, of course, good old pelvic floor exercises. We know we should be doing them. Sometimes you don't know how to do them, but it's about remembering it and really, really incorporating it in your sort of daily exercises. Just to get some pelvic floor awareness, just so important, that especially after you've had your baby, whether it's cesarean section or whether it is a normal birth, pelvic floor awareness is so important to really, really help your bladder and bowel function, especially after your baby and during your baby or during your pregnancy. So now I often hear this. I've had moms that are runners and think that the minute they fall pregnant, oh no, I have to give it up, and actually get quite anxious. And I'm going to quickly show you on the next slide here. I talk about high impact, but I talk about it referring to running. I'm not talking about explosive movements or heavy weights or anything like that. I have a lot of moms that are runners and or want to get into running. And the question that I want you to ask yourself, were you running before your pregnancy? If your answer is yes, then you can still run, but I'm going to help you and explain sort of how we're going to structure that. If you were not running before your pregnancy, but you might be interested in running a bit or getting your body moving or just wanting to get your heart rate a little bit higher and get some movement, then you can still run, but it's all about starting slow and progressively and not just diving right in and doing intensive runs. Your body will quickly tell you that is not the right choice. But my main thing here is that I want you to know that you can still run in your pregnancy. There's just a few things to take into account. And also depending, as I say, is it an uneventful pregnancy? If there's no complications, how are you feeling? Do you have the energy? How are your side effects? Just something to take into account, but you can most definitely still run. A nice thing I saw that Nike actually put out a campaign for moms and for pregnancy, and they have the most amazing maternity running tights. And so both my sisters are actually currently pregnant, and my one sister is she's in her second trimester now, but she was a runner and she ordered them, and they are just absolutely incredible, and it makes such a difference. So the band, so the legs will fit you quite nicely, but the band has got a nice supportive mesh rather than compressive. So that's another thing. Your clothing type makes such a difference as well. We don't want to wear our tight leggings that are very compressive on our abdominal area, especially as your tummy grows. So something like looking into maternity tights or just a looser, not such a tight belt is very, very important. Things to be aware of. So if we look on a physiological level, when you are pregnant, you have a hormone relaxin that is released and it's circulating in your body. And the reason we have this hormone relaxin, it prepares our body for birthing. So whether you're having a planned cesarean, a vaginal birth, you will always have this hormone circulating and releasing into your body. And what it does, it goes into our connective tissue. It provides some form of laxity, and that's normal. That's what we want. That is exactly how your body is going to prepare for birth. And what it does is it really, so connective tissue, I'm talking about muscles, tendons, ligaments, so any sort of connective tissues that keep our joints in place. With this hormone, this is when we're going to be very, very careful with explosive movements. So because now there's a little bit of laxity at the connective tissue, this is when we sometimes experience a little bit of pain. Very normal, but that's why it's really good to do activation exercises, especially for the glutes, just to support the pelvis, because the pelvis might feel it a little bit more. So yeah, just to be careful about that for risk of joint injuries. So when you do the exercises or do any exercise, to slow it down slightly, do it with a little bit more intention, and just be very, very cautious on your form of how you do the exercises. Another thing is, just because as you are growing and going through your trimesters and as your baby grows, because there is an increase in weight, which is normal and which is what we want, it does affect your center of gravity. So just to be aware of it, to do things a bit slower, because your balance might be thrown off a little bit more. So that's just also something to be cautious of. And then remember, your resting heart rate is now going to be increased from how your original heart rate was before. This is normal. Your body's growing a human. You're working hard. It's just absolutely incredible what your body is actually doing at the moment. So just take that into account when you are adapting your training. So if you use a fitness device and you watch your different zones of your heart rate, this is something to be a little bit more cautious of. So you might add 10 beats per minute, a little bit more into your zones, just because your resting heart rate is now slightly higher, although your max heart rate doesn't change. But I will talk a little bit more about that in the next slide, or 2 slides from now, just to explain in what zone you should be working out in. And then, yeah, as expected, now there is a change in blood pressure, so this can cause dizziness. So just to be aware of it, and then especially just the lying on your back, to be very cautious about it. But what I wanted to get with this slide is that you don't have to give up your running. You just have to watch your heart rate zones. You can still do it, but then also just make sure that what you are wearing is quite supportive rather than compressive. All right, so you're at home, you're pregnant, you've been wanting to get moving, you're so motivated. What now? So unfortunately, I can't give you a stock standard training program right now and tell you, okay, this is exactly what you're going to do. But what I'm going to do today is guide you on intentions and how your week should look, or how your intention can be structured. So I spoke about earlier about cross training with your cardiovascular training, with your weight training and resistance training. So what I want to aim for here, walking, that is stock standard. Every mom should be walking in their pregnancy, unless your doctor recommends you on bed rest or if there are other complications, but at least 20 to 30 minutes a day. That is something that is just it will help you a lot, and you will feel better, and you'll still have the same mood boosters, the same feeling as if you're doing other trainings. So what I said here was, okay, Monday, let's put that towards a strength and resistance training session. And when I talk about strength and resistance, I'm talking about either using your body weight or light weights. Nothing over 2 kilograms. If you're asking my recommendation, I would say 1 kilograms, 1.5, but nothing over 2 kilogram dumbbells. This is if we're wanting to do arm movements. So your Monday session, your focus can be arms. So if you think about it, when you've had your baby, I promise you, they grow so quickly. You are going to be lifting out of the cot. You are going to be lifting a toddler. Maybe you've got another child as well. They're all wanting your attention. You are going to be changing nappies. You're going to be cleaning up things. You're going to be moving around. Your arms really need to be prepared for this, especially with the breastfeeding as well. And just having your child with you, your arms do take strain. And this is why I incorporate this quite a bit, and it's quite a big focus. Just prepare your arms. So doing your bicep curls, doing a little bit of shoulder flies with your light weights. All of it very safe. You can do them in standing. You can do them sitting on a Pilates ball, very, very comfortable. You can do them, in those 2 positions. If you're looking at time spent, 20 to 30 minutes. I'm not asking you to do anything over 45 minutes, but at least you're doing something every day, and there's intention for it, preparing you for afterwards. Tuesday, if you are a runner, you can do your run. 30-minute run if you're doing it before, 20 to 30-minute run, whatever you can manage and feel comfortable. I just want you to make sure that if something does feel off, if there's any pain, there's anything where you feel something's not right, stop immediately, walk. You can also do your intervals. So you can do 60 seconds of running at a 60% pace, 30 seconds walking. So it's your session. You are welcome to structure it how you are structuring it. The important thing is that you are moving your body in a safe way. And then I did speak about, depending on your impact level. So if you, for example, weren't a runner before and you don't want to get into running, you don't have to. You can still then do your walking. And then I also mentioned Antenatal Pilates. So this is someone who will instruct Pilates specifically for women who are pregnant. So you'll notice there won't be a drastic or big core movements. It'll be more about core awareness and core activation. And a lot of it won't be in lying. It will be in your standing position or in different positioning. Wednesdays, focus legs. If you think about it, you are squatting, bending up, moving from the cot. So the same thing. Train your legs. You can do squats. You can do lunges. This will be fantastic for if you've got any pelvic stiffness. Especially moving your legs, getting them nice and strong, especially the glutes. So you can still do other exercises. You can even get resistance bands, almost like those booty bands in standing, wrap them around your legs, do leg extensions, moving back to the sides. So you can still do those exercises. And then obviously you've got your rest days. I've structured 2 rest days in on a Thursday and a Sunday, or you can include a walk if you're feeling good. And then, of course, Fridays I've put towards a core activation focus. Reason why I've put this here is that you do need some core work. I'm not talking about sit-ups, please, not a single sit-up. Reason why I say this, if you do any activities that are quite like a rapid increase in abdominal pressure, or it's a little bit explosive, or like coming from completely down from the mat all the way up, things like that, remember there is relaxin that is going around. Sometimes, there's actually quite a few women that experience a diastasis recti, which is our abdominal separation. And if you're doing exercises that are not focusing on just core awareness and core activation, and you're doing explosive ones that really increase the pressure, you're putting a lot more strain on your abdominal muscles. So you can do in side lying, you can do some oblique work. In standing, you can have your hands up to the side and do some cross training. So there's so much you can do. It's just about adapting it for you and not in lying, rather in standing or on your side or on your hands and knees. If you think about it, you can still do a high plank. You can have a variation using a couch to decrease the load on your lower back. That's the other thing. You'll see that your lower back goes into a little bit of, we call it a lordosis, little bit of a tip. So that's when the pelvis tips forward anteriorly, and that's just because of your baby growing. So that's another thing. We also want to strengthen, I say core activation. It's not just the front. Core activation is like a drum. It's your whole body, so it's also your back stabilizers too. So very, very important hands and knees exercises, Superman reaches. We can do donkey kicks. We can do so much here, and I actually do them in my Pilates classes. Just remember, my classes aren't antenatal, but there are exercises on our hands and knees that are 100% suitable. And then, of course, your rest day. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about your tips for a safe pregnancy. So just about making being active as a part in your day. So this is something that you really make a priority for yourself. If you weren't active before, but you know your doctor said to you, you know what, you really need to be active. It's good for your baby. It's good for your health. It's good for your baby's development and growth. Build it up gradually. Take it down a notch. Start with 10 minutes walking. Start with 20 minutes walking. As long as you start with walking as your core exercise and then moving on into your strength components that I spoke about with light weights. I think also very important is go walking with a friend. The social aspect is just as important for your mood as a mom, because remember, you have a lot going on, a lot of hormones, and I think it's so important to also focus on your mental health as part of it as well. And of course, I mean, there's so much to do around the house as well. Put some music on, put a little of extra effort in. You'll feel, I mean, if you're sweeping or vacuuming, your arms are working hard. So that's just a nice little extra tip. Try taking the stairs. If you're somewhere, if you're at the office, if there are stairs, rather opt for the stairs than the lift. Just take it slow. Got a railing, someone with you, take it nice and slow. And then, of course, trying someone who instructs specifically a pregnancy class. If you find that you have any pelvic pain or lower back pain and it's really hindering your exercises, go see your women's health physiotherapist. You are welcome to reach out to me. So I'm, of course, a women's health physio as my background. Very small community here in South Africa. So if you just tell me, listen, I really want to exercise, but I've got this and this pain, I can help you and tell you who to go see. It's just very, very incredible. And the work that women's health physios do, it's absolutely life-changing and also help prepare you for after birth. So I'm talking a lot about, prenatal, but also after birth, just as important, looking after you and your body. And then, of course, just drinking plenty of water. Now that you've started incorporating movement and training, very, very important just to really, really up that water intake. And then I spoke about, in the running aspect, about different heart rate zones and what you should be training in and watching, because your resting heart rate did now increase. So in terms of what I would like you to aim for is zone 2 to zone 3 heart rate zones. So what is that? That is 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. In zone 3, you'll be bordering on around 70 to 79%. So just be cautious. So if you want to work out where do you fall in that, to work out your maximum heart rate, you say 220 minus your age. This is a rough estimate of what your max heart rate would be. So if you say 220 minus your age, you'll get a number. Then to know if you're in zone 2, you say 60% of that number, and then it will spit out a number for you, and that would be where 60% of your max heart rate would be. So yeah, anything between 60 to 79%. I don't want you going to zone 4. I don't want you to going into zone 5. That is quite a bit of strain and a bit of stress on the body. So if you do have your fitness device with you, just watch your watch. And then, of course, breathe through it. So that's just very, very important to make sure you are breathing through it all. You're taking it slow. There's intention. But if you've got questions, you're welcome to reach out to me about that as well. So I'm just going to pull back the slide so you can see me. And then what I'm going to do, we can just pull it away over here. Let's just see. Yeah, we're going to take the slide away in a bit. But what I want to do is, so the way I structured this ed was really to focus on showing you the intention and sort of the guideline. I don't want to give you sort of a program out here now, because I don't know your history. I don't know where you are in your pregnancy journey, and I don't want you to do anything where you can injure yourself. So this is where it's so important. First, get your doctor's clearance. Second, make sure that you take it nice and slow, that you're breathing and you're really focusing on form. And then, yeah, just having sort of an intention behind it. So what I'm going to do, I can see the comments. Let me see if I missed anything here. I see Nancy joined us. She said she's not pregnant, can't have any more kids, but such a great topic. I'm so glad. Same for Pat. If I've got any moms with me here, please pop in the comments. Let me know if you've got any questions or if there's anything I can help you with. But my main goal would be I'd want to support moms just to help you to get moving. The benefits for after you've had your baby are just so, so important. If you are watching this on catch up, you are welcome just to pop me a message. You can check out my coaching page or my coaching page. My number is there. But otherwise, that is all that I wanted to mention today. But the main thing is, just to get you moving. So let's see if we can take down the slide. And then, if there's anything else, you are welcome to pop me a message. But I hope you found that informative, and I hope it maybe answered a few questions you might have had. And I hope it gives you a little bit of guidance on knowing how to structure it. But just remember, I couldn't put up a whole program. There's a lot of things to take into account, but I am here if you want to reach out to me. All right, so I see that there's no questions. Otherwise, I hope you all have a lovely, lovely Thursday. I hope you're all nice and warm. And there we go. Perfect. And I hope to see you soon. We are also, final reminder, we are launching our challenges. So from 2 o'clock, we are going live. You'll see all of us team leads. We are going to be putting Jono through his paces. So join us from 2 o'clock. And yeah, we can't wait to welcome you. Remember, challenges closing. I've got my Corn Pilates challenge, but we have so many other challenges. But yeah, otherwise, have a lovely Thursday. Bye.